most all of those years has been working in the commercial loan area. So I work with businesses. I understand cash flow. I understand projections. Basically, I work with people's budgets that own businesses and that type of thing. When people try to figure out how much money do I need for a working capital line of credit or cash flow, I know how to determine what their needs are, what part of the year they need money at, and how much they need to get by. So basically, 38 years of banking, to me, I think it's my biggest qualification. But also the 17 years that I've been in the city council. I'm used to working with the budgets, and I'm just very familiar with that process.
And Ms. King.
Okay, budget stewardship is very important. I do not plan to do this solely. As you all may be aware, some of you may not, we have a finance director for the city of Thomaston, Mr. Lonnie Joyce. Along with the city council, I would definitely decide to talk to them to see where I would allocate the funds and where they would need to be. Professionally and personally, I have served as the director of allied health at Virginia College, also here in Thompson, Georgia at Southern Crescent College, Technical College, where I was the lead instructor. I oversaw the budgets for all of those programs, also the expenditures, the ordering of supplies. So I have a great wealth of knowledge. As I spoke earlier, I've been doing this almost 30 years, well actually almost 32 years to be exact. And the supply budget for day-to-day operations, I'm very familiar with that. But there again, as the city council, that does not fall solely on the mayor pro tem, because we do have a finance director here. So that would be not a major issue. Definitely we would have a voice in it, but also I think something that has not been happening, and that being very transparent, I think that we should also let the citizens have a voice. No, they can't make the final decision, but we need to also let them empower them to have some type of say-so as well. So therefore, I do feel that I have the experience, and my past experience would help me play a minor role in the finance.
And the same question to Ms. Lindsay.
In my job, I deal with the budget for my department, and in planning that budget, I do my best to be money-wise and conservative. For the city, I would continue this. I do not believe in spending money on frivolous, non-needed items. I will be a responsible steward with our taxpayers' money. I have never been one for paying more for something that I can get done or buy cheaper, as long as it's comparable quality.
Thank you. We'll start the fourth question. We'll start with you, Ms. King. Our local school systems are proud to serve free government breakfast and lunches to our students. What is your opinion on this topic of a free meal, and does make Thomaston shine?
I definitely agree with free meals for children, because it's been proven that a child who eats a wholesome breakfast or lunch performs better in school. Their grades have been proven to be better, because when there is not enough, or if there is hungriness, there proves to be that there is not enough concentration. Back in 2011, former First Lady Michelle Obama Let's Move initiative focused on school nutrition and decreasing childhood obesity. Back then, $10.1 million in the fiscal year, let me correct that, fiscal year of 2011, $10.1 billion was designated and used for school nutrition program. That's how important it is. During my experience as the school health officer and being a nurse period in the middle school in Lamar County, I see what it's like for children who come to school, not have food to eat, and they tend to be all over the place mentally. One thing that I'm very proud to say, and I'm not sure if Upson has it here, but in Lamar County on Fridays, we personally pack lunches for students to have food over the weekend. That's how important we feel that it is, not only in school, but outside on the weekends, because that's the only meal that some of those children receive.
Same question, Ms. Lindsay.
Free lunches in schools is a special benefit for some of our students who would otherwise go without, and I'm happy that we can offer this to them. However, it is really not something to be proud of. The community eligibility provision allows the nation's highest poverty schools and districts to serve breakfast and lunch at no cost to the enrolled students. I agree that this is a need for us at this time, but this is where we need to strive to find ways to elevate our citizens out of poverty by bringing in well-paying jobs and getting our residents to work.
And Mr. Hill.
You know, I think probably the greatest challenges we have in our country are health and education. And I really think, health begins with hopefully having a good diet. Most of us are fortunate that we don't have to worry about the food that we have. We have plenty, but there are many, many children who don't have that. And I think it's great that they get meals at school, and I think it's something that's necessary. And as hopefully they come, and when they're well fed, hopefully they're better able to focus and concentrate and learn in school.
Question number 5 will begin with Lori Lindsay. One of the candidates quoted that some of the Thomaston downtown businesses did not serve all ethnic groups. Do you agree?
I do not agree with this remark. I don't know what Thomaston offers whites that it does not offer non-whites. We have a variety of restaurants and stores in Thomaston, and none of them discriminate. I've said that I love the Concert Zone Square and hope they continue, but I do feel like that they should offer more types of music for other groups, like R&B or hip-hop or something for our youth to enjoy. But other than that, I do not think we do any one thing for one race over the other. We are the longest running city offering the Emancipation Proclamation celebration, and we should be very proud of that. And truly, if you wanted to look at this as a race issue, we do not offer anything like this for any other race. No decisions made by the city should be geared toward one race over another.
Same question, Mr. Hill.
One of the most exciting things I think we've had happen in my whole tenure is the recent master plan that we've got. And one of the things that that master plan indicates is that there are, and I'm reading to you right here, it's $136 million gaps, and it comes in a variety of ways. So what I look at is that hopefully we will get whatever we need. And we need a diverse group of businesses. But businesses will locate in places where there is demand. We've got a $30 million gap in full-service restaurants. We've got $18.1 million gap in clothing stores. We've got $10 million gap in furniture and home furnishings. There's a $136 million gap of economic impact that is going outside of Upson County to find something. What that represents more than anything to me is the opportunity that exists. So how do you attract businesses that would reach out to a whole diverse group of recipients? How do you attract that? Well, we've gone out and got a rural designation, and the exciting thing about that is it will help people purchase a property, rehabilitate a property, and hire more than 2 people. And that is financial incentive to people to come locate. Now, the demand is going to be created. If there's a diverse need out there, then people are going to see that, and we're going to incent them to come by giving these state tax credits. Not even tax credits that we're going to have to give up. They're state tax credits. So what I say is, there's opportunity out there, and we want them to come and locate in our historical district and other places.
Same question to Sheriff Dean.
Could you please repeat that question?
I'll certainly do that too. One of the candidates quoted that some of the Thomaston downtown businesses did not serve all ethnic groups. Do you agree?
First of all, before I answer that question was designed for me, but I will do my own quote from the newspaper. The question was, where are your favorite places to spend time in our community? My response, Greatest Generation Park, Reach Theater occasionally when it was open. There are not a variety of places that provide or support the interests or hobbies of all citizens of Thomaston. Besides school-based and recreational sports, what does Thomaston have to offer the African American, Hispanics, and other non-white youth? Not much that I'm aware of. That question, the question that was presented tonight, was totally wrong. It misquoted me. The same person asked me the same question on my Mayor Pro Tem page. I provided the same answer. What I said and what I meant without any questions is that if you go to downtown Thomaston, or anywhere in Thomaston, you have for Caucasians, you have skate park and all of those things. In fact, my opponent I read on October the 7th, Ms. Lindsay also agreed that there was not a lot for all youth of Thomaston, Georgia. So I'm not just picking out the African Americans, it's others, because if African Americans or Hispanics want to celebrate their culture or do anything besides recreational sports, they must go outside of town. There's no Cinco de Mayo festivals or anything for the Hispanics. One response on my page was that there is Emancipation Proclamation Juneteenth. Emancipation Proclamation celebration is not sponsored by the city of Thomaston. It is provided by the African American community. As far as the Hispanic cultures, there's nothing that I'm aware of, no parades, festivities, or anything. That is what I meant. I never said that anyone was discriminated against. So I do not agree with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we've got a few more questions before we continue. We'd like to turn it over to the audience. Allison, are you going to take the microphone? Anyone in the audience, if you have a question for either of the candidates, you raise your hand. Allison will bring the microphone to you.
This is a question for all the candidates. How would you address the situation concerning East Silvertown, West Silvertown, concerning quality of life and code enforcement?
I could give the last part.
Quality of life and code enforcement.
I will start, if they don't mind. As far as East and West, I'm not sure your question is a little bit ambiguous. I used to live in Silvertown on Goodrich Avenue. When I lived there about 6 or 7, no, maybe 15 years ago, there was not any problems that I was aware of. As far as quality of life, my goal as Mayor Pro Tem, next Mayor Pro Tem, is to provide quality of life for all citizens. When I spoke today as the guest speaker at the Kiwanis Club, that was one of the key points that I brought out. In order for Thomaston to grow and not become stagnated, because in some areas when you've served in a position a long time, there can become complacency. My goal is to focus on every citizen, not just black, not just white, not just Republican, not just Democrat, not just rich, not poor. My goal is to aim for quality of life, a good quality of life for every citizen by providing town hall meetings to keep the constituents involved, knowledgeable about what's going on, listening to their concerns, and doing everything within my power to force that or discuss it with the council and go from there. If there's something that we do not get right the first time, we're going to continue. I will always fight for all of my constituents. My main thing is I would rather stand alone for what's right than stand in a crowd for something that's what's wrong. I've been there. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been on the poor side, I've been on the good side, and I know what it's like. So that's my area. And as far as zoning enforcement, I think that they need to be more transparent with the coding and everything, and let the citizens know what's going on, and we need stricter code enforcement.
I think you wanted each candidate to answer that, is that correct?
Excuse me, sir?
Correct.
Correct. Ms. Lindsay?
This is one inviting local landlords to discuss this issue. It was stressed at that meeting that it is the landlord's responsibility to make sure their homes are safe, clean, and meet the codes. If the yards are overgrown, dead cars in the yard, trash everywhere, then the landlord will be held responsible. Most of the ones at the town hall seem to care deeply about their homes they own and rent out, and someone even said the council was mostly preaching to the choir. So I'm not sure that they reached the correct ones with that town hall, but they did discuss this. But if they follow through with the code enforcement, then things should start changing and neighborhoods should start cleaning up. I would suggest assessment of the work that needs to be done, how many homes need to be inspected, and if we need to hire an additional code enforcer or add a temporary person to deal with the issue, then we should focus on that.
Mr. Ed?
Okay, what's interesting, if you look at our town, it's about 50-50 owner occupied and rental. And so it is a challenge